The Mara Serengeti ecosystem is home to millions of wildlife and one of the last great remaining overland migrations in the world. Each year, 1.2 million wildebeest and hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles migrate north from Tanzania into Kenya following the rains.
They move in a clockwise loop, and they come up into the northern Serengeti and Mara around June or July, and they spend a few months up there feeding in their dry season feeding grounds, following the rains and following the presence of grass. And while they're in that portion of their range, they cross the Mara River multiple times as they move between their feeding grounds. And in October or November, they return back to the Serengeti for the breeding season.
Wildlife are exceptionally good at tracking resources, which allows them to follow the rains during this migration. And they have a herding behavior that helps protect them from predation. They are not, however, strong swimmers. And so when they reach Kenya during their migration, they cross the Mara River repeatedly seeking tall grass. And if they enter the Mara River at a point where exiting the river is difficult, this can create these large mass drowning events.
These mass drownings are fairly frequent occurrences. We found record that they had occurred in 13 of the last 15 years. And in surveys that we conducted over the last 5 years, we found they contribute an average of over 6,000 carcasses to the river every year.
A wildebeest carcass is composed of about half soft tissue, muscle, intestines, and skin. That soft tissue attracts thousands of scavengers from hundreds of kilometers away. We see crocodiles, vultures streaming into these mass mortality events and utilizing these carcasses for weeks at a time. The other half of a wildebeest is bone, and that's where most of the phosphorus is stored. Bone breaks down, decomposes over years to decades. The phosphorus in that bone, though, grows algae and bacteria that can support a lot of the aquatic insects and fish in the river, even after the soft tissue in the carcasses have decomposed.
Large animal migrations are some of the most iconic but imperiled phenomena of the natural world. And studying them in places where they still exist and understanding their ecosystem effects can help us to understand how ecosystems may be impacted in places where those large migrations have been lost. And it can help encourage us to continue to try to conserve them in places where they still exist.